This ship was built for the rich in the 1930s. But something else came on board and never left. Imagine it's the early 1930s. A magnificent ship cuts through the Atlantic waves, a true floating palace. It wasn't just a way to cross the ocean. It was a destination in itself, crafted for the wealthy, the famous, and the powerful. Movie stars, influential politicians, and millionaires walked its decks. Crystal chandeliers cast a brilliant glow over lavish ballrooms, and an opulent indoor swimming pool shimmered under soft, elegant lights. For the elite, this ship symbolized the very future of luxury travel. But the ocean holds its secrets, and behind all the glamour, a darker reality was beginning to unfold. The ship's massive engines roared day and night, a constant, powerful heartbeat deep within its steel frame. Down in the belly of the vessel, the crew toiled in cramped, dangerous conditions. Life below deck was a stark contrast to the luxury above. Accidents were inevitable. Some were officially reported, documented, and dealt with. Others, however, were quietly forgotten, their stories swallowed by the vastness of the sea. Soon, passengers started to notice strange things. Late at night, when the grand halls were supposed to be silent, some would report hearing the distinct sound of footsteps echoing in empty hallways. Doors, once securely latched, would creak open and then shut on their own, moved by an unseen force. A few guests even claimed to hear faint, distant laughter near the swimming pool, long after it had been closed for the night, when no one should have been there. The crew had their own chilling stories, whispered in hushed tones during their rare breaks. Many of them grew to dread the night shift. They spoke of sudden, unnatural cold spots in the ship's deepest corridors, and of fleeting shadows that darted at the edge of their vision, shadows that didn't belong to anyone. One terrified engineer swore he felt the distinct presence of someone standing right behind him in the deafening engine room, only to spin around and find himself completely alone. Then things took an even more sinister turn. The whispers of ghostly encounters gave way to a new, more terrifying reality, the disappearances. It started with a crew member, a young man who simply vanished during his shift. No one saw him leave, no one saw him fall, he was just gone. Then a passenger, a wealthy socialite traveling alone, failed to show up for dinner. Her cabin was empty, her belongings untouched. She was never seen again. Panic began to creep through the ship, a cold dread that no amount of luxury could keep at bay. The ship, once a symbol of dreams, was becoming a vessel of nightmares. What happened on that ship? Did these people simply fall overboard, or was something more sinister at play? The legends say that the souls of those who were lost are still trapped there, wandering the empty halls, forever bound to the ship that became their tomb. To this day, the stories are told, a chilling reminder that even in the brightest of lights, the darkest shadows can linger. What do you think happened? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries from the deep. Thanks for watching. Did you hear about the ship where people just disappear? It's a true story, and it's way creepier than any movie. It all started with a crew member. One day, he just didn't show up for his shift. They searched the entire vessel, every deck, every cabin, every storage room. Nothing. It was as if he'd vanished into thin air. A few voyages later, it happened again. This time, it was a passenger. They were on the ship when it left one port, but when it docked at the next, they were gone. No witnesses, no signs of a struggle, no one heard a thing. It was just another ghost story whispered among the crew, another mystery swallowed by the sea. For years, the ship continued its journeys across the ocean, but the strange occurrences didn't stop. The disappearances left a permanent stain, a dark shadow that followed the ship from port to port. Eventually, the questions piled up, the whispers grew louder, and the ship's reputation became too heavy to carry. Today, it's a museum, a tourist attraction, permanently moored at a pier. It's a perfectly preserved relic of a bygone era. Tourists walk its polished decks, they take photos in the grand ballroom, and they marvel at the vintage decor. Most of them have no idea about the ship's dark past. But for those who work there, it's a different story. The ship isn't just a museum, it's alive. Security guards, sitting alone in the dead of night, watch the monitors and see things they can't explain. Shadows that move on their own. Doors that creak open and shut in empty hallways. Perfectly charged phones will suddenly die in specific cabins, especially in the areas where the disappearances occurred. Cameras will refuse to work, only to function perfectly once they're back on the pier. It's as if some unseen energy is draining the life from their devices, and then there's the feeling. It's a sensation that's hard to describe, but many have felt it, a cold spot in a warm room. The distinct feeling of being watched when you're completely alone. A sudden, overwhelming sense of sadness that comes and goes in an instant. Some visitors have even reported hearing faint whispers, like a conversation happening just out of earshot, or the soft sound of footsteps following them down a deserted corridor. The people who know the ship best, the curators, the longtime maintenance crew, the security guards who've spent countless nights aboard, they all say the same thing. The ship may have stopped moving, its mighty engines now silent, but it never truly went quiet. It's a place that holds on to its stories, a vessel that won't let go of its past. They say some places become so saturated with intense emotion, with tragedy and mystery, that they hold on to that energy forever.